Now, following the historic hike in the fuel prices, the National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi has directed the committee to table its report within 14 days in view of the urgency of the matter and in consideration of the effects it has on the populace. Further, he directed the Finance Committee to attach a draft bill to the report for any approval for publication, proposing legislative intervention by the National Assembly as sought by the petitioners. Amoga Shane with that report.
A petition was brought before the National Assembly to look into the recent fuel price hike that has sent the nation into fury. During a session on Tuesday, September 21st, Speaker Justin Muturi stated that the matter was urgent and directed the Finance Committee to submit a report in 14 days.
How I wish, Mr. Speaker, it was to be 7 days, not even 14. Because the 14, it would have even come to a whole month, then IBRA will again announce either increase or decrease.
MPs questioned why the government was silent over the matter as Kenyans struggle to get their lives back together following the financial effects of the pandemic.
The boys who are doing border, Mr. Speaker, all of them today, they have the border boys in Kawangware, they have nowhere to run to. My boys, they are not hustlers. My people in my constituency, they are not hustlers. They are only hard-working. They are hard-working Kenyans, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr. also added that the government cares very little about Kenyans.
Now, you're sitting there on behalf of the Speaker, because this is the committee of the whole. And Mr. Chairman, you cannot reduce us to a talking shop. We can't just appear as if we are making noise for the sake of it. Now, if the government, through its cabinet secretaries, can show contempt for this committee of the whole, it just demonstrates that this government, just like we have said before, cares very little about Kenyans. Maybe because it's at the tail end of their term, they actually don't care. It cannot be, Chairman, that somebody seated in an office.
The lawmakers challenged the Finance Committee to expedite their report in order for the House to deliberate and resolve the fuel crisis now and in future.
I want to remind you. You are going to finish. A point of information. I'm informed that they were duly informed. Oh,
very good. So there's no excusing. I was trying to find out from them because I was what I mean. Can I sort of elect them in one way or another? But now they have no defense. On the issue of Thursday, I want to remind you that the Thursday, I believe, there's a similar committee of the whole House.
Rarieda Member of Parliament Utiende Amolo castigated the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, EPRA, for turning against the Mwananchi. Kikuyu Member of Parliament Ichungwa also challenged lawmakers to amend Article 115, Sub-Article 4, that gives the President veto powers to legislate, noting that the situation Kenya is in today was brought by a directive by the head of state.
The infamous 8 and 16%, Honorable Speaker. It is on record, Honorable Speaker, and on Hansard, that this House actually voted to defeat the proposal by government to put VAT on fuel. But, Honorable Speaker, through veto powers that the President enjoys under Article 115, Sub-Article 4, Honorable Speaker, that was defeated because we could not raise the 2/3 majority, Honorable Speaker. And maybe we must begin to ask ourselves whether it is not time to amend that particular article of the Constitution to at least matters that touch on the people that we represent, Honorable Speaker, that the President cannot legislate. And if we are to defeat his memorandas, a simple majority should suffice, Honorable Speaker.
On his part, Narok Senator Ledama Olekina proposed that the Parliament initiate a censure motion to impeach Energy CS Keter for not showing up, yet they were summoned.
Cabinet Secretary shall attend before a committee of the National Assembly or the Senate when required by the committee and answer the questions concerning a matter for which the Cabinet Secretary is responsible. Now, the Constitution is clear that Cabinet Secretary has violated that Constitution. So the only thing we need to do in this House for us to be able to support the Kenyan citizens is to initiate censure motions to remove those two Cabinet Secretaries, if we can.
For Maisha Prime News, I'm Amoga Shane.